All right, welcome to a quick little follow-up video that we're going to be talking about from last week's video. I got a couple questions in my DM regarding the whole feedback loop concept. And the theory is very generic, and it's a lot easier said than done. So we're going to kind of recap what we talked about last week, and we're going to quickly talk about how you can actually implement ways of becoming better when it comes to consistency and discipline. So what I want to begin with is kind of the general message, right? What it comes down to is that a negative mind won't ever lead to a positive life. And we know that when we are trading as well, because you trade differently when your ability is fueled by the confidence in yourself and your capabilities on the chart. So to make it as concise as possible, the reason behind this and the reason why this works so well is because you're holding yourself accountable. You're kind of, looking at yourself in the mirror, telling yourself, hey, I'm not sticking to my routine, and that is maybe potentially a reason why the whole trading is slacking off a bit. So what I mean by that is when it's fueled by your own confidence, it means that everything you're doing outside of just your charts is tip-top. And when that is tip-top, and you are pretty much in this zone, like what we talked about with entering flow states, you understand how accountable you can be and how reliant you are on pretty much any variable outside of the ones that you can't control. And that's a very cool, interesting topic we'll talk about later. But for now, what we want to focus on is what is one way that you can pretty much generate that positive feedback loop. And my best way, and the way that I can come forth to you guys, would be to embrace that discipline, be consistent, and keep showing up. And that's something that's a very underrated topic, in my opinion. The reason behind that is lots of beginning traders, and myself as well, when I started trading, is you get the thrill of trading, you're super excited to trade, all of that good stuff. But then after a couple days, maybe weeks, maybe a couple months, you slack off because you're not getting any results. You're not getting that validation, that feedback that you're good, success, whether that be something in monetary values, percentage values. You're not seeing what you expected because everyone comes in this game with these wild expectations, but that really shouldn't be the case, right? So what we want to do and what we want to implement in this case is just keep your discipline in check. Once your discipline is in check, you will better understand that the consistency, when you lack motivation because you're not seeing results, is that the consistency and that discipline will generate and bring back that motivation for the entire process, right? Because it is one thing to slack off, but it's another one to just give up, right? Now that might sound super harsh, but it's just the hard truth is giving up means that you've just quit. You've given up on all the time that you've put in. And you shouldn't be seeing it as something like, hey, I've spent so much time but I'm not seeing results. More like, if I stick to it, I know I'll make it. And that's this positive feedback loop. Implement a routine. We're very heavy, at least with Echo and our entire community, where we're very heavy on just routine. Having a good routine in check, any other variable outside of trading, because trading, it's whether you like it or not, it's elite. It's not a sport, but mentality wise it's comparable to elite athleticism. Not physically, but 9 out of 10 traders that are successful are also quite healthy. They look good, they're in shape, because it's a very good thing to complement that mental challenge that you're going to undermine when you're trading. So we're very heavy on the whole routine concept, whether that be waking up on time. We're not the guys that push out, wake up at 5 a.m., don't sleep, you gotta grind the whole time. That's another stigma that we'll cover in a later video. But you need to consistently do something at the same time to habitualize your routine in order to grow in areas where there are no variables that can affect you. See it as some sort of experiment, just like with a science experiment that you did in high school. You always had your fixed variables. your fixed variables were there in place in order so you can actually see the result and test your outcome based on what you're looking for. And our outcome, you have to see it as a performance-based machine. We are that machine, and everything around, our inputs, which is our strategy, the way that you trade, has to be fixed. So your mental game needs to be fixed, your physical game needs to be fixed, your habits, your diet, your routine, your sleep schedule, all keep that as disciplined as possible, and only then you can start fine-tuning and tweaking around your edge and your strategy. Because if there's so much room for improvement in other areas, you're not going to have enough focus on the one area that you do want to improve, which is your trading skills, your capabilities on that field. So once again, just to summarize it really quickly, my biggest point on how you can generate that positive feedback loop is by creating these habits. Make sure that every other variable is fixed to your best of capabilities in order to give yourself enough mental headspace and room in order to hone your trading skills as a beginner trader. Even as an advanced trader, it counts as well. It's a constant work in process. You will forever remain a student of the game, and that humility of yourself, remaining humble to that aspect, because you're never going to become an expert. So once you understand that, you will gain confidence in the craft, confidence in yourself as a person, and you will attract much better setups according to your trading plan.